we'll get into more of the dealing with developers, hiring developers, managing relationships with a developer or an agency more on. But I do want to just go back to your point of having options. That's obviously something we do. We're honest in our opinions, even if it's not, making us more money, or we'll give away free options. Say, hey, you shouldn't build this, or this needs more work before this can even be built. I think that's in the industry. If you're looking for a software developer, you're having conversations with a contractor or agency, there's two really big things I'd say when you're making this decision on trying to figure out if it's going to be worth it or not. Is one, like, make sure that these people are actually hearing you out and they're not just quoting you after 5 minutes. If they don't understand your business, that really doesn't make sense, because they're not going to build something that can actually impact your business, right? So they really need to intimately understand that. And then additionally, they trust your gut. Absolutely. If something
when you're talking
smells,
to someone, if you're talking to someone and you're like, this guy's talking right past me, like I've explained it 3 times how my business does this thing, and trust your gut. Don't expect that communication will improve as the project goes on, because that's typically not how that goes.
Yeah. And the second one is just like, you should have options.
Yep.
There's no reason why you shouldn't. And it's so, we've seen it with, and why we started business, we see with so many software agencies, like everybody's just so trigger happy to talk to somebody for 5 minutes and be like, yeah, we can rebuild it. It's going to be 250 grand. And not think for a second, like, hey, sometimes these older legacy systems that are 20 years old, like, we get in there, like, this was actually built relatively well. It has good architecture. Like, this just needs some buttoning up and maybe, revamping kind of more the back end to make sure it's going to stay good for the long term. In regards to scale, but beyond that, it's not, you should have options, just like with anything else. Like if you go to buy a car or any other service, like you have packages and different options. Yes, granted, software is interesting, custom software, because it is custom, but you should have some empowerment, even if you're non-technical, where someone should say, hey, we can do this for this, and here's the reasons why, or we could do this, and here's the reasons why. And you should be able to have an informed decision on, okay, I think that this is a $60,000 problem. I'll spend $80,000 on it because, and I'll maybe know that longer term, this isn't going to be a 20-year solution, but this will get me an ROI within 2 years. Awesome. Let's go for that. But you really have to, if they're not giving you options and they're just going for one, then I would be really curious to know, are they trustworthy? And why did they come to that decision? And maybe just ask them, hey, why did you come to that decision? Why do you think it needs to be rebuilt? And if they can't articulate it in a way that makes sense with the way your business operates, then they're just selling you on something that's not legitimate, most likely.